Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Hoop Room at Hoopsters. As you're aware, we try our best to address topics that are relevant to our everyday life. And not just that, we also try to identify people who are qualified, reliable, and have put in years of sincere effort in dealing with the subject to deliver these addresses. Today, we bring to you a topic that everyone is talking about, but not really answering the questions or even giving solutions. In short, like most issues, everyone is, in short, like most issues, everyone is just skimming the surface and leaving things hanging. We have with us Sonali Patankar, the founder and owner of Responsible Netizens, talk about cyber crimes against children. Responsible Netizens is an organization committed to the cause of child online protection and advocates cyber wellness to ensure children's mental health well-being in the online space. And in the last 9 years of incorporation, they have engaged with over 1.3 billion children and adults. Wow, that is something. That's one hell of a number, if I may say so. So thank you, Sonali. Thank you for agreeing to come on the show.
My pleasure, sir.
We'll begin with a standard question which we ask everybody. Why did you agree to come on the show?
Sure. So first of all, I would really like to thank you, sir, for allowing me to share a little bit of my knowledge with all of you young people and this amazing platform of Hoopsters where parents are so keen on learning more about how to protect children, to work with children. So thank you once again for this opportunity. Coming back to your question, I chose to be with you because you work with a lot of youngsters who are online and who probably are aware and are technically very savvy, but sometimes don't realize the repercussions of their online behavior. So what really happens to us if we fall a prey to something that is threatening, that is frightening on the internet? How do we deal with it? What do we do? And that's what I'm going to share with all of you today.
Sonali, just tell me one thing. What is Responsible Netizens all about?
Sure. Responsible Netism started in 2012. We started this organization because my own daughter was getting cyber bullied when she was in school. She was harassed by her friends. She was threatened by her friends on WhatsApp. And I really didn't know what to do when somebody's troubling you online. So we know a lot of children make fun of each other offline and tease each other. But when this happens online, where do we go to? Whom do we reach out to for help? Is something I was clueless about. And so some of our friends came together because they were also facing similar situations and realized that we need to come together to work towards protecting children in cyberspace on the internet. And then we asked ourselves, who should be taking responsibility for our online behavior? So we realized that nobody else can be responsible for what I do online, which is why I have to be responsible and accountable for everything that I do on the internet. And that is how Responsible Netizen was born, where each one of us need to use internet responsibly and take accountability of what we do online. And that's how the journey began 9 years ago.
Okay, let's begin with the basic thing. What is cybercrime? And we all talk about it. Everyone's the words, one of the hottest words going around. But what is it?
So cybercrime is any crime done using internet and technology. A very simple definition: any device, any technology that you use. I can name a few: computer, laptop, pen drive, hard disk, mobile phones. You name it, and an electric device that has has internet or is a device, electronic device, and there is a crime that is committed misusing that or misusing somebody else's identity or somebody else's profile is called a cybercrime. And there are various types of cybercrimes, but for instance, you need to be able to, cybercrime is something that will happen only if you're using technology. The other crimes that happen, for instance, there is chori that happens in your house, or somebody is hitting somebody else offline. These are called offline crimes. But cybercrime is a crime which is done specifically using technology and the internet and is very common across all age groups.
Okay, considering this event we are having now, right now, is all about cybercrime against children. What are the trends you see in the market?
So we've been working with so many children. We've been working closely with the police, with the Ministry of Education, because we report cases. So what is the work that we do? We educate children and adults in schools and colleges about online safety. We report cases of cyber crimes to the police, and we provide legal guidance and support to victims that face cybercrime. So that's the work that we do. So there are two things that happen. One, children commit cybercrime sometimes, and many a times children are vulnerable to cybercrime, meaning cybercrimes happen with them. Somebody else does a crime with them. And the four most common crimes that children get involved in, the first is called hacking. And I'm sure everybody knows what is hacking because everybody's been there, done that. And you will not believe, sir, the first thing that the child learns to hack is your neighboring uncle's Wi-Fi password. Why? Because that's the coolest thing to do. If you know somebody else's Wi-Fi password, you don't have to use your data, and you have somebody else's Wi-Fi at your doorstep and you're able to use them. So the buildings that we live in, the complexes that we live in, children are very, very comfortable hacking each other's Wi-Fi and using Wi-Fi. So what does hacking really mean? Hacking is not a status symbol. So in grade 4 and 5, if you are able to hack, you have a lot of respect. People come to you, अरे यार मेरे को ये hack करके देना, या फिर मेरे लिए ये इसका Wi-Fi password निकाल के दे, या इसका profile hack करके दिखा. Please understand, my dear children and friends, hacking is a cyber crime and very, very likely to have legal implications. So hacking means stealing the password of another profile, of another person, of another device, obviously without consent. You don't give permission कि आज रात को आके hack करके लेके जा. So hacking is a crime because two things happen. One, without permission, you sneak into somebody else's account or into their profile and you try and steal data, steal information, which is also called hacking. And it is one of the most common cyber crimes committed. Today you will remember this. I think this, you need to remember this forever. When minors, any under 18 children, commit cyber crimes like hacking, and if there is a complaint lodged, 99% of the times it is the parent who goes to jail. Now why will a parent go to jail if a child has committed crime? That's because the SIM card and the device belongs to the parent and it doesn't belong to the minor child. So when complaints are registered, parents have to either face crime, have to face consequences, be in jail, or probably pay a very hefty fine for the crimes children commit. So hacking is one very topmost crime that children commit. The other crime that they're also vulnerable to is called fake profiles, creating fake profiles or identities. Now here there are two things that happen. One, you're stealing somebody else's image, video, content, name, and two, without permission, you are creating that person's existence on the internet, again without permission. Now, I cannot remove an Aadhaar card on your name, can I? I cannot. It's illegal. I cannot have a passport on your name. Similarly, when you steal data from a person and create an existence of that person without permission and consent on the internet is called impersonation. That means you're impersonating somebody else, and this is called creating a fake profile, which very often children do because they want to show how cool they are, how much more they know technology, and they start blackmailing other friends to get into or to give into some demands that they have. The third crime that is very, very common is called cyberbullying. Now, bullying यानी क्या होता है? Ragging. So we all rag each other. We make fun of each other. We tease each other. We use a lot of foul slang language with friends. Now, when the similar ragging happens on the internet, how can ragging happen on the internet? Through chats, through images, through memes, through videos, through text messages, on any platform using technology is called cyber ragging or cyber bullying. And the statistics say 1 out of 3 children experience bullying at some point in time at before the age of 10 years, which is a very, very large number, especially in the country that we live in. I'm very worried about the way children talk to each other online because a lot of foul language, slang is used because you can't see the face and you're not really, you're not seen. So it's absolutely fine to write whatever you feel like on the internet. But please remember today, everything and anything you put on the internet will stay there even after we die as evidence against us, which cannot be wiped away. So if you and I have a fight in the open somewhere, there will be no evidence is saved. But on the internet, if I have to write something ill about you, and that is going to stay there forever and can be picked up at any given point in time, will be used as evidence against cyberbullying or against a crime that you have committed, and that can reprimand you at any given point of time. So I think these three crimes are very, very commonly committed, and children are vulnerable to. Of course, there are many other severe crimes that happen also on the internet.
Coming to this point, you said about the data remaining even after we die. What if the kids think that they can just delete it?
So usually when children say that they delete it from their own profile, they delete it from their account, but it still stays on the internet. It cannot be removed from the internet unless you go to a law enforcement, to the police, to get it removed for some legal reasons, through some legal processes. But otherwise, it is going to stay there forever. It can be picked up, it can be searched for, it can be investigated by the police, and there is evidence left that you've left behind of your internet behavior.
Sonali, you talked about the crimes which children do on the online. What are the crimes that are against the children?
So a lot of times we've realized these are very severe forms of crime. Some of you may get a little worried, some of you may get a little concerned, but these are real crimes that are happening on the internet. And you today are going to be my messengers, because you will tell your friends, you will tell your parents about how to identify any crime and then how to take action against it. The first thing you need to understand is that somebody is threatening you. Meaning, even if it is bullying, first identify that there is a person who's trying to make you feel bad, making you feel ashamed, making you feel horrible. That identification is required. Most of the times children say, "Ye to sabke sath hota hai, no big deal." But you need to identify that this is bullying. That is one. Two, a lot of times children are blackmailed for content. Now I'll give you a very simple example. A seventh grader girl and a seventh grader boy, they were friends in the class. And suddenly, one fine day, this boy created an account and sent a request to her on Instagram. Can anybody here tell me what is the legal age to be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat? Does anybody here know?
13
Yes, ma'am.
plus.
Ma'am, it's 13 or plus it will give us
13
it's
plus.
for bigger like
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
Absolutely. Very good answer. 13 plus. So if you are 13, only then can you have a legal account. Mind you, with new policies coming up, they can identify children who are under 13 and still have accounts on the internet. So your first rule is to not have any social media accounts unless and until you're 13 complete. So this boy was 12 and the girl was also 12, and he sent her a friend request on Instagram. And this girl did not want to accept it because she realized that her account is not real. I mean, her account is not legal, and her parents were not aware of her account being available on Instagram. So she refused to accept the account, and the boy got very furious and she started threatening her. He said, "I know you have an Instagram account. I'm going to tell your parents that this account exists. Even if you try and hide it, I've taken all screenshots. So only if you accept my request and do what I tell you to do, will I not share this information with others." Now, this girl did not know what to do, because if she would have accepted the request, she would have fallen into a bigger mess. And if she wouldn't have accepted the request, he would have gone and told her parents about her account. A lot of times we realize that parents don't know that children have Instagram accounts even after 13. I think the first rule that we talk to children about, please let your parents know that you have social media accounts. Why? No matter what happens, who will be the person to protect you? It will have to be your mom and dad. So they should know what is happening, and there is no need to shy away. There is no need to be fearful. There is no need to hide information from them, because if they don't know, they will not be able to safeguard you or protect you. So in a similar situation, a lot of cyber predators are older people, slightly older than your age, very old people who are criminals, who use the internet to target young children through gaming platforms. Now we'll all know PUBG has global chat, COC has global chat, the Roblox is there, Among Us is there, which has chat. So through these chat platforms, you never know who you're connected interacting with, because you can only see their image, you cannot see the real person. And many a times we've had cases where such people have threatened young children, bullied young children, asked them to share very, very objectionable pictures, shared very objectionable pictures with them, and then started asking for money. Now, do children have money of their own? They
No,
don't.
ma'am.
Where will they get money from? They will get money from
Parents.
their parents. And so for that, they will need to inform their parents, which is why it is very important to let parents know if somebody is trying to approach you through chat on the internet. When you don't share this with your parents, then this person starts threatening you about this being a threat, and you will be used to blackmail. So we have to be very, very careful about what you share with strangers. Now, my very basic question to you is, when we are walking on the road to school, do we go and hug and invite any stranger to our place for a cup of tea? We
No,
never do.
ma'am.
No? Our parents have told us never to talk to strangers, correct? But on the internet, it is just the opposite. You're only talking to strangers. You're only talking to people you've never seen in your life, but you talk and share all personal information: name, school name, age, what your parents do, where you live. And this is very, very important information that you should never share with strangers. Once the predator, once the criminal has all this information, he might take advantage of this fact and start threatening you. Now, one disclaimer I'd like to share: this does not happen with everybody, but this happens with a lot of children who think they know internet very well, but they're not aware of the consequences of their behavior. So you have to be cautious, you have to be alert, and you have to report if you feel something uncomfortable that you see online.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay. So, between the pre-pandemic and the present situation, do you see any increase in any particular kind of cybercrime against children?
Yes. So in schools, we've seen a lot of children hacking Zoom accounts, hacking Google Meet accounts, inviting some third person out of their school, out of their class to the Zoom account. So though these are not crime per se, but these are things that are not acceptable, and these may account to other threats. We've had children hack the school domain and declared there is no school forever from now and everybody can enjoy. Or there are children who have they have committed some. We have a 7th standard boy who morphed the teacher's image, meaning he was very upset because the teacher was angry with him in a class because he was really creating a lot of chaos. So what did this boy do? He downloaded the teacher's WhatsApp DP and he changed it into a very objectionable image. Objectionable, yani there was nude picture over there, and nobody would like to see a picture like this. So he converted that into an morphed that image, changed that image, and he started sharing it on WhatsApp with his friends. Now this photo went viral everywhere. Somebody sent it to the teacher also, and she was shocked because who would want to see such an image of yourself? She reported that to the cyber cell in the school, to the principal. Police were called. Again, another very important thing today you must remember is any cyber crime you do is 500% traceable. For instance, today there is a robbery in the house. The robber might just run away forever and you will never find it. But if you commit a cyber crime, because you leave a digital footprint on the internet, it is 150% likely to find out where the crime is committed, by whom it is committed. So you can be traced by the police. It takes time because there are millions of users at one time on one platform. But if there is a complaint lodged, you can definitely be traced. So similarly, this teacher lodged a complaint, and after that, within 4 days, police reached the boy's house, and parents were shocked as to why did the police land up at home. And that's when they said that this is a complaint that was registered, and we've investigated and found out that your son did this. The boy was shocked because he did not believe this could happen to him, and then he confessed because he did it out of anger, out of revenge. So what were the repercussions then? They had to pay a fine of 2.5 lakh rupees. Fortunately, the teacher was very, very kind and she did not pursue the police complaint further. So he was not sent to any reprimand, to any remand. So what does it mean? Children under 18 who commit cyber crimes don't go to a jail where adults are kept. They are kept in a separate home, which is called a corrective home. And that is where criminals under 18 are kept. And you can imagine it's not like Taj Mahal hotels. No, it is like a jail where children are treated very, very badly. So you have to understand anything you do in cyberspace can land you into trouble and can land your parents into trouble. And these can escalate to an extent of no return. And the last thing I want to place here is the damage that it causes. Imagine what the teacher must have felt, how horrible she must have felt. Will she be able to forget an incident like this so easily? How must the child have felt? He must be teased by so many children after having done something so horrible. How must his parents have felt about their own child being, and not a criminal? He's not a criminal. He just did it out of fun. He just did it out of revenge. So all of these have a huge impact on the way we behave, on the way our friends look at us. So you have to be very mindful and think 10 times before you commit anything in cyberspace.
Only very interestingly, every time I ask you a question, you are going back to children who are committing crimes. Why is it so important to you that you talk about this?
Sure. So I think it is important for us to understand that children don't understand the consequences of their behavior. Many times they realize that ये तो सब चलता है, nothing will happen to me and nobody will complain against me. So it is very easily forgotten and forgiven. But that doesn't really happen in real life, which is why I'm very worried about the number of crimes children are committing. Digressing a little to how are children vulnerable to people. I missed that point. So I spoke about gaming platforms where we have, I want to share one very severe case with the 8th standard girl and a boy who were best friends who got onto a gaming platform. And while they were on the gaming platform, they connected with a third gamer who happened to, later they realized, who happened to be a person of 50 years of age. And he pretended to be somebody who was very young and started playing with those two children. A couple of times these both children lost the game, and they were in the same squad, and because they lost because of these two children, that boy, the man, got very angry and started using very foul language against these two children. These children are a little taken aback because nobody spoke to them like this ever in their real life, and they were wondering why would anybody be so mean, so hurtful. And because through chatting they had shared all their personal details. In 2 days' time, this man sent a 6 feet tall man to their house to threaten them. So imagine what can happen. An online crime can convert into an offline crime, and people will have access to you because you share a lot of your personal information. Fortunately for two children, both their parents were at home, and when they found this person coming over to their place, they immediately reported to the police, and that man was caught. So there is a consequence to everything that we do. Fortunately for these two children, they were safeguarded by their parents. We've had some children who were abducted by gamers. It's not only about gaming, it's also about social media because you connect. In fact, there was one child who was a football player in school, and through various chat platforms on Facebook, that's when Facebook, he was using Facebook at that point in time, one person befriended him, made friendship with him, and realized that he's very keen on playing football. He created a fake profile and pretended to be the coach of one of the very promising football teams outside of our country. And then he started writing to him with a fake account, with a fake letterhead, saying, I am inviting you to play for your country, but in my team. So I want you to travel with some money to this particular city from where you will be picked up. Can you imagine? This 9th standard boy didn't inform, and the only thing this person kept telling him was, do not share this with your parents because they will never allow you to make a career in football. Now this is how he groomed the child. This is how he tried to convince the child, and the boy was convinced about not sharing this with their parents. So the boy stole 10,000 rupees. He took a ticket, he sat in the train, and he reached Mumbai from UP, from Uttar Pradesh. Fortunately for him, he was caught by the police. There are a lot of police people on stations, on railway stations. He was caught by the police for wandering alone, not knowing where to go, what to do, because the person who was supposed to pick him up from there was not able to reach in time. And that is when the police realized that something fishy is happening and this boy seems to be lost. When they investigated further, they realized that this boy has run away from home at the cost of what this man who pretended to be a football team coach who's invited him here, and the entire racket was busted and the boy was taken back home. So online conversations can lead to something horrifying offline which we cannot even imagine ever. So we need to be careful.
What are the laws in place to fight cybercrime?
So the law
At least the
says,
laws which we need to know.
yes. So the law says there is no specific law for children committing cybercrimes. What is the impact? What is the implication of cybercrime on children? Legal implications. It is based on four things: the age of the criminal, so one who is committing the crime; the age of the victim, if it is a minor under 18; the amount of damage caused, and what is the impact of that entire crime. Based on these four things, a punishment is levied onto the child or to the criminal, whoever is committing the crime. Hacking is a crime punishable maximum up to 2 years of jail with 2 lakh rupees of fine. Now, this can vary from case to case depending on what is the damage, who is the criminal, what is the data breach and data loss, and who is the victim. Stalking, morphing images, converting images into obscene images or objectionable images, there is 3 lakh rupees of fine, up to 3 years of jail. A lot of times, a lot of people on the internet take advantage of children by sharing content which is not age appropriate for them. And this is a crime which has 10 lakh rupees of fine and 10 years of jail, because they feel children must be protected from any kind of threat, any kind of abuse. So every punishment has different, every crime has different punishments depending on the law, but it may be subjective to what is the age of the victim and the criminal and the damage that has happened. But there is definitely a punishment that can happen.
Okay. So, how does one approach the police, or where does one approach once in case there is a issue?
Okay. So the first thing you need to do is identify what kind of crime is happening with you. Maybe cyberbullying. So somebody's teasing you, somebody's threatening you, somebody's using very foul language, somebody's sharing very odd, very scary, very dirty images to you. All this needs to be reported. First, if you're on any social media platform, you have to block and report there first after informing your parents. So what is the immediate action you need to take? If somebody sends you something like this, don't get scared, don't get fearful, and delete the content, because when you delete the content, you miss out on all the evidence. All the evidence is lost. Then how do you complain? Where do you complain? And what do you do? So save the evidence through a screenshot is your first thumb rule. After you save the evidences, do not communicate with that person. Cut off completely. Why? Because the person waits for the reaction. If somebody tells you you're stupid, and you respond to that or you react to that, the opposite person gets even more excited about about bullying you further. So do not communicate, respond, or react to the content that is sent to you. Show this content to your parents, even if you feel odd. At the most, your parents might be a little worried, or they may be angry because they're worried about your safety, and they're really worried about your internet safety because they themselves don't know as much as you children do on the internet. So inform a parent or a trusted adult. If you're at school, your school teacher, your principal, counselor. If you're at home, parents would be the first person who need to know. Maybe your older siblings who are above 18. What happens when children face such situations? They share things with their best friend. So I have nothing against best friends at all. They're amazing people. They must be there in our lives to help us grow, learn, and share. But when you share it with your best friend will come up with a very creative solution on how you need to handle this. And when you use that suggestion, you complicate the situation even further. So it requires adult intervention. It requires a parent or an adult to intervene, and which is why we ask children to report it to one trusted adult who can take action against it. The fourth thing you need to do is save all evidences. write a handwritten complaint, go to your nearest police station to report. Now we run a national helpline. You can send it to us on WhatsApp. I'll share the WhatsApp number with all of you in the chat, and you need not go to the police after that. 90% of the times these cases get resolved before going to the police, because you're all under 18, and no parent, no child would wish to go to the police station to resolve the matter unless it is extremely critical and the damage is very, very extensive. So you need to save all the documents, the evidence that you see online. You need to report on the platform. So suppose somebody is DMing you on Instagram, block that person, report. There are two ways of blocking. One, you can partially block, meaning the person can't write to you, but you can still follow that person and see whatever his activities on. Permanently block, that means you and the person can never stay in touch with each other. So many a time such people create fake profiles separately and keep DMing you and keep harassing you. So identify and do not accept stranger requests without verifying who the person is. And when you save these evidences, keep a copy with you. You can send it either on email, or you can physically go to the police station with a parent and report the case.
Yes, that's wonderful. But tell me, how effective are the police? How effective is the law in these cases? Because normally we keep saying कुछ नहीं होने वाला है.
कुछ नहीं होता है in many cases, because most of the times when minors are concerned, nobody wants to escalate the case further. They don't want children to be reprimanded legally. So they both realize both of them are at fault. They both apologize and promise not to do such things again. These are life's lessons learned, so that we realize that these things don't happen ever again. But at the same time, when there is a party or there is a victim whose family or who decides not to withdraw the complaint, then the police are compelled to take the case further and register it further and take cognizance of the offense. Most of the times in minors, these offenses, when they're related to morphing, grooming, or any sexual kind of content, those are the cases that are escalated. The others are usually resolved through counseling and through support from the police.
Okay, there's much talk about, but let's go in shorter ways. What are the basic tips for parents and children? And what should parents be aware of?
For children, 13 plus is your first thumb rule for any social media account. After you are 13, you can create a social media account, but you need to follow the privacy policy as a Bible. There are so many important privacy policies. For instance, none of you should have open Instagram accounts, public. They should be private. Why? Public accounts, we're not celebrities, we're not famous people, so we don't want any stranger to write to us or contact us or write horrible things about us. So your account has to be private and not public on Instagram. 3, your Instagram account, I'm talking more about Instagram, Snapchat, because these are platforms you use. People like my age only use Facebook. They don't use Instagram very often. And all, younger people are on Facebook, on Instagram, on PUBG, they're on Discord. How many of you are in Discord? How many of you are on Discord?
Mommy.
What is your age?
Oh, I'm 12.
Oh, so you are 1 year younger to being on Discord. So we will discuss this after I finish talking, but Discord compulsory age is 13. You cannot be on Discord if you are not 13 years of age.
Ma'am, some students in our classes are using Discord, ma'am.
Yes, I know a lot of children, even 8, 9 years are on Discord. So my question to you is, do you go and cast your vote when there are elections?
No, ma'am.
No, why?
Because it's for higher people, ma'am.
Correct. Do you drive vehicle?
No, ma'am.
ma'am.
We have
There
to
is an
learn
age.
it first, ma'am.
And you have to have an age
We
limit.
are at lower age.
Absolutely. So then why do you want to be on platforms that are not for your age?
Ma'am, I don't download that R12 plus I don't download that on TikTok.
Very good. So there is children who are on Discord and who are not 13 years of age. I want you to promise me to not have these accounts till you complete 13 years of age. I'll tell you why. If you are under 13 and if a crime happens with you on Discord, you will be likely to be punished even if the complaint is escalated to the police. And because you're anyway having an illegal account, no, you are not 13, then how can you register a complaint when you yourself are committing a crime? So Discord is only for 13 and plus, not allowed for children under 13. 2, when you select a game, how many of you play PUBG?
I don't play.
I will not play, ma'am.
Ma'am, my father.
Our
So
class
when
will
you-
not play.
Ma'am,
Anybody
Ma'am.
playing PUBG now, do you know PUBG is illegal in India?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
ma'am, because that was it was banned one time, ma'am.
Correct. It was banned. Now there is another version, an Indian version, which has come up, which is available for people to play. But what is the age limit of PUBG? Who can tell me what is the
13
age limit
plus
of
or 12
PUBG?
plus, ma'am.
No,
18,
no,
18 plus.
no.
48.
Which means you don't know game rules. Shame if you play things like this when you go on game platforms, and when you don't know the age, you should not be playing games like this. So PUBG is 16 and plus, played by very, very young children. What is the age for Among Us?
Ma'am, we stopped playing 16 plus games, ma'am. I was
My
playing
brother
one time
plays
16 plus game.
So if you're not playing, or if you're playing
I
games
stopped.
which are for your age,
I stopped
perfectly fine.
16 plus.
I know, ma'am.
Ma'am, I stopped playing Among Us, ma'am. I was playing first, ma'am.
Why did you stop playing?
Even I was.
Ma'am, because the age was 13.
but in Among Us, the age is 8 plus.
The Among Us is correct. Among Us is 8 plus. But
Ma'am, I was playing Call of Duty. That was 16 plus.
my goodness, and are you 16?
Ma'am, I stopped.
Very good. Excellent. So today you are going to be my messengers of peace. So today, when you know that you're supposed to play games which are for your age, you will yourself follow this rule. You will tell all your friends. And I want to know how many of you can convince your friends of not playing illegal games. Is that a promise?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Fantastic. So if me, like one auntie tells children, don't do this and don't do that, they don't listen. But when you go and tell them, you know, this is what I'm going to do, I'm not going to play a game that is age inappropriate, then they will listen to you and they'll be proud of the fact that you can take such a strong decision. You know, it is so easy to be carried away. The whole group is telling you, "Arey, khel yaar, kuch nahi hoega." But if you stand strong and say, no, this is not a game that is legal for my age, you will make your parents and yourself proud, because you're doing things which are legal, you're doing things which are fair, and which will protect you further. So whoever is playing games correct for their age, superb thing that you're doing, and hats off to you for that. So third, wait, let me finish, then I'll come back to all of you. I know you have a lot of suggestions for me, and I want to learn how you're also dealing with so many things that you're doing online. My fourth tip is, I'm going to put these two websites here, esrb.org and pegi.org. These are two websites that will help you to teach you how to select a game for your age. Now, if you enter esrb.org and you write PUBG, they will tell you it is a 16 plus game, high level of violence, adult.
Ma'am,
Rating. Otherwise, what rating do we get? This thumbs up, 4.5 rating, bakwas. Why? Because that has no value at all. A game rating should tell you four things. One, what is the correct age? Two, whether it is legal or not. Like PUBG was banned, so it was illegal. Three, is there too much violence? Is there a lot of sexual content in the game which is not meant for your age? Need to tell you that in the rating itself. And four, what will you learn from this game? So these are four things these two websites will tell you, and I'm going to put that in the chat before I leave, so you can go back home and do your homework and select games and teach your parents this. Tell them that this is what I've learned new today, that we can select games from ESRB and pegi.org. And my fifth and last tip for children, then I'll come to parents. You must learn to report anything that you come across online which is stressful. Somebody troubling you, somebody making you feel horrible, somebody trying to tease you, somebody making fun of you, somebody sharing content which is not correct for your age. All this needs to be reported to your parent, and you need to go and talk to your friends about how they can be responsible netizens. Meaning, I promise to play games which are correct for my age. Similarly, you can influence so many other friends of yours to play games which are correct for their age. Now, 5 tips for parents, if there are any here, or if you can convey this to them. Parents need to understand how to select age appropriate games and social media platforms for children, because if parents don't know, they will never understand what their children are doing. 2, always teach children the good and the bad of the internet. So tell me, do you think 2-year-old children need mobile phones?
No, ma'am.
10-year-old need mobile phones?
No, ma'am.
When they
12-year-old?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
But you all have.
ma'am, but we can take, but some students take tablet, laptops, and
But today you need mobile phones to study, correct?
yes,
Today,
ma'am, for study.
I was playing Minecraft, that is 7 plus, ma'am.
Minecraft is a very good game. So play games which are making you think a lot. Play games which are related to Minecraft, which are age restricted and which are very good for your brain and for your
Ma'am, I
activities.
play Minecraft, ma'am.
Very good. So you need to, so your homework for today. To Bala sir, you're going to give a list of good games that you play so that I can talk about these games to all other children I talk to, and I will tell them that this is the list you have shared with me. Deal?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And one more thing, twist in the story. You will make a list of all illegal games or age inappropriate games you play, and you will promise not to play them. Deal?
Okay, ma'am.
Pakka.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Pakka promise.
Ma'am, but in which should we send that, ma'am? That illegal, that in which
So I will share the link. I'm sharing the link in the chat. You go to that website, check the game rating. If it is right for you, you can play. If it is not right for you, you have to choose not to play. But you have to inform your parent. Please inform your parent and then take this action.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of privacy policy, ma'am?
Okay. So very good question, Anush. I'm so happy you asked me this question. What is a privacy policy? A privacy policy are rules and guidelines that will help you to protect your profile on social media. For example, on Facebook, there is a profile picture you see for everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
There is a blue guard that you can put on the profile picture. When you put a blue guard, then nobody can take a screenshot. Nobody can take a photograph. Nobody can download that photograph of yours. That is a security policy that they have created. On Instagram, if you create a public profile, then anybody can message you. But if you create a private account, nobody can message you without your permission. That is a private policy, privacy policy. Third rule is you can report anything, content or post or comment or image on that particular place. You know, the 3 dots come on the platform.
Yes, ma'am.
So immediately over there, you can report saying, I don't like this content because it is not good for children. There is an option that comes there and you need to click that so that that thing will be removed. Please remember, privacy policy mein, when you report things, Instagram takes all those reports and they take action against it after you report. But if you don't report, they will never be able to remove it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you understood what a privacy policy is?
Yes,
There are
ma'am.
rules and guidelines to help you protect your accounts. Snapchat hai. So many children on Snapchat just put their photo thinking it is going to vanish after some time. Do you know where those photos go? They go
But it goes viral. It goes to website. It goes viral.
It will be posted, ma'am.
Correct. And it will not be reposted, but it will go to servers which are outside our country and they can misuse our data and they can use our photographs. They can post them anywhere. And do you think our photo can be posted by anywhere, any place without our permission?
No, ma'am.
So we have to be very thoughtful before we share the kind of pictures that we share, the kind of content that we share, so that, you know, when you share content, people will see you from a different perspective. Suppose Sonali is sharing something, they will look at me saying, okay, this is Sonali and she shares this kind of content. So this is the influence I am creating on the people who follow me. You as young people, I call you all influencers, meaning you are going to influence a lot of your friends by doing good things. So is it easy to pick up good habits of people or bad habits of people?
Good habits.
It's easy?
No, ma'am. It's difficult.
Difficult, no? today my request to you is, you set some good habits of internet safety for yourself, and let us see how many of your friends are able to follow you and say that, okay, we believe in Anush, or we believe in Shreyas, or in Samarpan, and we are going to follow what they do because we believe they are doing right. All of you can use this tactic to influence your friends, and then I will say that all of you are responsible netizens and you are safe internet users, and we all will be very proud of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
So now, are there any questions? Please go ahead,
Ma'am.
but just raise your hand, because if all start talking, sir and I are going to get very confused. Yes, somebody was saying ma'am, and I missed who it was.
Girish,
Girish.
Girish, okay.
ma'am, if we play like someone was playing PUBG, ma'am, if they play PUBG means they have to do some dares, no, ma'am, jumping from the building.
No. You're talking about Blue Whale, which is
Yes.
another racket that came up many, many years ago. That was not a game, because we worked with the police on Blue Whale, which was a trend. And in there were challenges of cutting yourself and jumping out of the building. That's what you're talking about, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is now not a game anymore. It is not available anywhere, and it cannot be downloaded also.
Ma'am,
But
now we can play like we are playing Roblox, ma'am.
yeah. But even if you play Roblox and it is for your age, you have to be very careful about what kind of people you connect with on Roblox. What are the kind of messages you're getting from people? How are they treating you? Are they respecting you? It is very important to respect people online, because otherwise you will be using foul language that is stay there as evidence. So even if there is no Blue Whale, there are many other games, many other people through games and social media which encourage children to do wrong things. What are wrong things? Go harm yourself. Go click a picture in which you're not wearing clothes. Go do something to your friend and see what happens. So these are dares and challenges that people make you do, and children sometimes get carried away and do. But we realize that these are going to be very difficult to do, and these are going to have consequences. All of us know when somebody tells us to do something wrong, we get scared. Do we get scared or no? We get scared. So the moment you feel afraid, those are the things that you don't have to do on the internet, or if you're being told by somebody to do it, you don't have to do it for sure, and immediately inform your parents. Okay, Shreyas, what is your question?
Ma'am, ma'am, when we will do a crime, ma'am, example, when we will do a crime, we will run, ma'am, in safe place. Why? My question: when we will do crime and we will run, no, ma'am.
Where will you
Why?
run, my bacha? See, if you steal something in school and you run, you may be caught. But in the internet, you can't run away. Where will you run? And even if you run away, you have left the evidence about whatever you have done on the internet. So they can find where you are. Ruchika, what is your question?
Ma'am, is Roblox appropriate to use for 11-year-old?
Yes, Roblox is meant
Yes,
for
ma'am.
8 years and plus, but
Ma'am.
be careful about whom you chat with, whom you talk to, what is the
Ma'am.
content you share.
Ma'am, 6th standard can play that game.
Yes, they can play that
Ma'am,
game. So
whenever
I'm putting these two websites in the chat. Write them down in a notebook, and you go back home. I mean, you're at home. After this session, whichever game you want to check the rating, put it on that website and check. So many games, I don't have ratings for all the games. So I'm just putting the list of the websites address here. There you go. So you can see these two, esrb.org and peggy.org. Any one website you can go to, and you can click on it and write the name of your game and check the rating. If you don't get a rating, which means that game is still being reviewed by a committee, and then it will get rating in some time. So you'll have to hold on for a while.
Okay,
But
ma'am.
most of the games have a rating available.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that was wonderful. I mean, Sonali, I think that's a lot of information to take. And, I hope that all those watching it learned something today.
This
Come
is
on,
also a WhatsApp number that I'm sharing. If you come across any threat online, you can always call That number is available with me. You can directly ask for me and you can talk to me. Somebody was saying something? Avni?
See,
Ma'am, for that peggy.org, you should put the full name and email address and full.
Nothing you need to do. No. Just go to Google or any search engine, type www.esrb.org. Their website will open. There is a search column.
Yes, ma'am, I opened it. It was showing like that.
So are you going into the login? Don't go into the login page. Just go on their web browser. Just go
Ma'am,
to their
like, is it necessary?
for
Like for searching, ma'am, is it necessary?
necessary so that you can verify the game you are playing and its age. So if you want to check it, you can check it. If you don't want to check it, it's absolutely fine.
Ma'am,
If you're sure.
whenever I play Roblox, no one will say like that, ma'am.
No one will say.
Like bad words, no one will say, ma'am. Like if
Great.
I
So
play with
so-
my friends also, ma'am. Avni,
yes, ma'am. Even we play with Girish. All we friends, ma'am.
so fine. So if you're not getting threatened, it's absolutely fine to play. But you need to check on the number of hours also. You can't be playing for 5 hours, 6 hours and not do anything else.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
gaming has to have a time frame so that you follow those rules and regulations also of time. We have so many children who are addicted to gaming, playing for 14 hours a day, 15 hours a day, and then they have to be hospitalized because they're not being able to run their routine life, eat, sleep, study in time. So you need to be able to be cautious about the time you invest in the gaming also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys, I think we are coming to the end of the show. Thank you very much for being there.